Hello. Welcome to councillors, members of the public and the staff who staying in person or joining online and watching online this evening. The time is being 5 p.m. sharp, and I declare the ordinary council meeting of 16 December 2025 open. This meeting will be conducted under the provisions of the Local Government Act 1993 and the Council's adopted Code of Meeting Practice. Specifically, persons in the gallery are advised they may not recall the proceedings of the meeting of a council or committee without the authority of the council or committee. Mobile phones must be turned to silent so as not to disrupt the meeting. Using mobile phones to record the meeting without whether audio or visual is not permitted. This meeting is live streamed and a recording will be made available on Council's website to allow the community to follow Council debates and decisions. Members of public attending or speaking at the meeting agree to have their image, voice, and personal information, including name and address, recorded and publicly broadcast. Sheffield Council does not accept liability for any defamatory remarks and inappropriate comments that are made during the course of a meeting. Any part of meeting that is held in closed session will not be streamed. Councillors, in accordance with the mandatory provisions of the Model Code of Conduct, I would remind you of your obligation to faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities, and the discretions vested under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of your ability and judgment. Councillors, we are here to act in the public's best interest as we consider and determine the business on the agenda. I will ask that you show respect to each other and the community we serve and work with me to progress matters tonight. I will call councillors to order should there be a need to do so. I would now like to ask everyone who is able to stand for the moment of reflection. We pray that our deliberations today will be objective and the decisions are impartial and made for the benefit of the whole community. Let's begin by acknowledging the Wangal people, the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet is being held, on which this meeting is being held. We pay respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging. Thank you. Now you can resume your seats. There's no apology for tonight, and no absence, and there is no request for attendance by audio-visual link. Does any councillor wish to make any disclosure of interest? Councillor, ready? Sorry.
My declaration, I have a non-pecuniary, non-significant interest for EO1. I know Paul from quite a long time, just as a friend, and I've been to their childcare center to review the pets.
Thank you, Councillor Reddy. Any councillor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a conflict of interest with EO2. I have a family member on the wait list at one of the mentioned properties. It's non-pecuniary but significant, and I will leave the room for that item.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillor?
Non-pecuniary, non-significant for EO1, the childcare fence. I believe someone associated with the business is a former councillor that I know. A non-significant non-pecuniary interest for EO2. I don't know if I do those all together, but EO2, yeah, I'll just do EO2. Basically, I know people have adjoining properties to these lands, but I will stay in the meeting. EO3, non-security, non-significant. I know people who have land holdings in close vicinity and neighbouring properties to this land, but I will stay in the room. EO6, non-significant, non-pecuniary. Again, I know people who own neighbouring properties for this to these properties, but I will stay in the room.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Spinning.
I have a non-pecuniary, non-significant onto EO1. I've known the owner of this property for many years and I consider him an associate. I'll be staying in the room.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Barty.
All right. I have. So I'll declare for EO1. I have a non-pecuniary, non-significant interest. I know the operators through my political party, and I'll stay in the room. Also for EO2, 3 and 4, I'll explain them in bulk, and actually 6 as well, because they're all relating to the same issues. EOs, just to repeat that, EOs 2, 3, 4 and 6. There are two sites in particular that lead to the conflicts that for the items I've mentioned. The first is I own a property on Loftus Crescent, on the other end of Loftus Crescent. It's a non-significant, non-pecuniary interest. Sorry, it's a, I would say, pecuniary and significant interest, because it sort of impacts the land where I own a property. So I'll leave the room for EO3. It's non-significant, non-pecuniary for EO2. I'll leave for EO3. EO4, it's non-significant, non-pecuniary. The issue with Red Mire Road is that I broke a lease there a few months ago, and there are friends of mine seeing out the rest of that lease, but I'm still named as on the lease of that, and so there could be a perception of a conflict, but it's non-significant, non-pecuniary, so I'll stay in the room for that. And EO6 is the same as EO3, so I will leave for that as well. So I will leave for EO3 and EO6. Thank you.
Councillor.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
EO3. I live in close proximity, but it's non-pecuniary and non-significant, so I will remain in the room.
Thank you. Yeah.
Can I just
Yeah.
through you, Mr. Mayor, whilst I'm not voting, I just thought it appropriate that I also declare a non-pecuniary, non-significant interest in EO1, as I do know the licensee from my previous association at another council. So, but obviously I will stay and not vote.
Okay, thank you, councillors. Okay, now we are going to the mayoral minutes. As we all know, last Sunday evening, very bad things happened on the Bondi Beach. So I prepared the mayoral minutes to respond it. On terrorism event at Bondi Beach on 14th of December 2025. On behalf of Strathfield Council and our community, I extend our deepest condolences to all those affected by the tragic events at Bondi on Sunday, 14th of December. Our thoughts are with the victims, their families, and everyone who has been impacted by this senseless act of violence, which has no place in Australia. In times of such sorrow, our community's strength lies in our compassion for one another. I encourage everyone to look after themselves and one another and reach out for support where needed. For those feeling overwhelmed by what has happened, Lifeline Australia is available 24 hours, 7 days, and can be reached by 131114. I want to acknowledge the extraordinary courage and professionalism shown by first responders, emergency services, health workers, and all those who acted swiftly to protect others and provide care in the most difficult of circumstances. Their actions reflect the very best of our nation, and we owe them our sincere gratitude. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the minute? Yes.
Yes, I'd like to speak for the, it's very lovely minute, Mayor, Mr Mayor.
Thank you.
The Mayor of Waverley has called for all mayors to come to lay a wreath at Bondi on Thursday. Were you invited to that?
Yes, we are, and we are scheduled for that already.
You're all scheduled.
Any councillor want to come together with me?
What time is it? Do you know the time?
Around 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, yeah. Can I let you know?
Thursday, this Thursday?
Can you come?
This Thursday,
Yeah.
This Thursday. Thank you, councillors. I expect, I may have minimum one person can come together with me.
Yeah, I'd like to come.
Thank you. Okay, I now put the minutes.
Sorry, there's one more.
Can I just speak quickly? Thank you, Mr Mayor, for putting up this motion. I know you say it in some very kind words, but I think this council, or at least myself, and I would assume councillors in the community, will obviously condemning these Islamic terrorists who have brought these terrible things into our country. This isn't acceptable here, and really saddens me, really shaken me and everyone I know. And I just think that, not being, it's a multicultural country, and I just think that if this sort of behaviour and these sort of actions that don't belong here, if people are going to try to bring these actions into this country, that they should actually not live here.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor Barney.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. I'd also like to thank you for today's Mayoral Minute. I think, you've made an important reflection, and it's important that we all, agree with and support this motion, so I'm speaking in favour, of course. But I also thought I'd just, upon reflection, would mention that, this community in particular here in Strathfield have a very close tie to what has happened, because the last time this event, something like this happened in Australia on the mainland, was here in Strathfield. Of course, Port Arthur happened in Tasmania, but the last massacre we've seen on the Australian mainland was here in Strathfield, only a few hundred metres down the road. So this year it was the sort of remembrance of 34 years since the Strathfield massacre, and we as a community, of course, have recovered immensely since that time. And I think it's a what happened on Sunday is a reminder of what once happened down the road from here, and let's never forget the victims, of course, of the Strathfield massacre too. And I think that should be an important reflection you make when visiting the Mayor of Waverley.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other councillors want to speak for that? Thank you. I now put the minutes to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you, councillor. I declare the minutes was carried unanimously. Okay, now we are going. Okay, the item of exception in accordance with the section 13 of the Council's Code of Meeting Practice, items can be dealt with by exception, and they can be adopted as recommended by a single motion. I will go through each agenda item. If councillors could indicate if they wish to vote against the recommendation or speak on any of the matters. Okay, the first item is on the business paper, page 5, adoption of code of meeting practice.
Out, please.
Out, okay. And on page 52, the LC2, draft terms of reference.
Out, please.
Oh, okay. Page 59, investment report. Page 80, CCS2, respond to notice of motion, long-term outstanding rates. Okay. Page 82, PE1, comprehensive DCP review 2025.
Out, please, Mr. Mayor.
Out.
PE1.
PE1, yeah. Okay, PE2, existing section 7.11, development contributions plan revision. Okay, EO1, lighthouse childcare fence. That's for sure, out. Okay, EO2, land property strategy.
Does it have to come out?
Doesn't have to.
I was going to leave the room for it, so I don't know if
And it has to come out.
Yeah, it has to see.
Okay,
it has to come out.
sorry. Okay, EO3, number 1, lofter.
It has to come out, I'll leave the room.
This one have to come out, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, EO4, property strategy. Let me roll review. Okay, EO5, property strategy Bay Street. EO6, land reclassification of key council site. All right. So,
E5. This is the 10 for that out.
no.
No, so that's true.
That's exception.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, can we take out EO4, please?
EO4, okay. Okay, councillors, can I have a mover for the motion to accept? You move it. And, okay, seconded by Councillor Pensapini. Okay, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare motion was carried unanimously. Okay. Now we go to LC1. Can I have a seconder for this motion? Councillor Bramall. All right. Are you going to speak for the motion?
Yeah, just quickly, I just have a question first and then potentially an amendment. Just through the chair, probably to the general manager. In the previous motion, we moved that the business papers be made available 1 week prior to the council meeting. I think it's clause 3.12 it was where it said just as soon as possible or something along those lines. I couldn't find anywhere else in the document which specifies that time frame which we requested. If I missed it, just...
I thought it was in.
Lodged 2 weeks before.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah.
Business papers published a week before. So we amended it to... Yeah. Non-lodgements there. So I think if the council adopts it,
Through you, Mr Mayor. So, yes, Councillor Blackwell's correct. That clause should be reflected in there. I think if we just amend the motion to capture that, so that it is updated for the business papers to be published 1 week prior to the council meeting.
Okay, thank you. Councillor, do you have any other?
we're just putting the amendments just going in.
Oh, okay.
Mr Mayor? Do you put the so amended, so the business papers are circulated at least 1 week before the meeting? You're happy with that, Councillor Chai?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's what we discussed last time. Okay, any other debate for this motion? If not,
Thanks.
all good?
Yep.
Okay, if not, I will put this motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare motion carried unanimously. Okay, we go to the LC2, draft term of reference, proposed the strategy and policy committee. Can I have a seconder? Huh? Because I'm going to move it. Can I have a seconder?
Sorry?
Second, I'll second it.
Oh, Councillor Northworthy. Thank you. Councillor, would you now like to speak for the motion? Yeah,
I want
Councillor.
to speak against, Mr Mayor.
It's okay.
Look, I am speaking against this motion because, in principle, I disagree with its formation because I believe it will be a time-wasting exercise. I think the establishment of the committee seeks to provide a forum exactly like tonight's forum. It's a meeting in which we will have all the same agenda items as the meeting, which will occur only a week or two or whatever, I forget what exactly is identified there, but a period after which the exact same meeting will occur. The idea of the first meeting is that there's a forum in which we can ask questions of the staff that ensures that the actual meeting does not overextend itself. My rejection of this is that all the same questions, all the same comments will be able to be repeated, and so there is simply no point of doing them twice. Anything we can ask in the first committee can be asked in the second committee. Every single item we deal with in the first committee has to come back to the second committee, but rather than being a report from staff, it will be a report from a committee. I think we're shuffling chairs around to try and give councillors an opportunity and staff an opportunity to speak to agenda items in two separate forums that will be potentially, not necessarily, but potentially identical to one another. So whilst we could test and see if it works, I still think it's, I won't be supporting it because I think it's a time-wasting exercise. What's the point of setting up a committee, accepting its terms of reference, trialling it out, and then deciding that we're in a place that we could have anticipated from now. So before we adopt this, I think we should reject it and not go ahead with it. I think it's an idea to deal with the state reforms, which is fine. I just think the idea itself simply provides not much in way of actually dealing with the reforms. The reforms are going to hurt. I mean, it's going to mean our council meetings every month will be longer. I don't think the way to deal with that is to have more council meetings, which is essentially what this does. So I'll be opposing it, and I think all the other councillors should too.
Thank you. Does anyone want to speak for the motion? Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to speak for the motion because I think it's a really good trial situation in regard to the changes that we've got now with the new code of meeting practice. I think we need time to look at the business papers, discuss it and ask questions, and I know it's the same format as a council meeting and I know that you would probably repeat yourself, but it gives time for people whose English is very limited to understand what's going to be happening in the business papers. And it also gives us time, we could do we could do items by exception a lot faster as well in the second meeting, rather than having to go to another meeting. So I think having a pre-meeting is worth the trial it out, see if it works. If we're doubling up on work, then we can just stop it in the March or April meeting. Thank you.
Councillor Northworthy.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yeah, I'd like to echo similar statements. I think I've, in the past, in council meetings, been prevented from asking multiple questions, follow-up questions. So I've been left, not knowing the answer that I would like to know. So to be able to provide a specific time and a place to do that, I think would be beneficial. I also think in terms of time, I would personally rather split however many hours a council meeting might go over two separate sessions to ask questions and then just to vote and make commentary, rather than just run later and later into the night. So I'll be supporting this motion.
Thank you. Can I have another one who can speak for against it? Huh? Yeah. If you.
Yeah, I'm speaking against it. Yeah, I'll be voting against this motion. I think we're having a meeting about a meeting. I think it's look, we've got a new code of meeting practice which we're going to be getting our business papers a week earlier. We're going to have plenty of time to read through those business papers, and I think this goes against the grain of what the minister's attempting to do. So look, I think it's better we just try out what the minister wants, and as have our normal council meetings. If that somehow doesn't work, then we can go into this next step and see if we need some other sort of committee. It's rather than putting like the horse before the cart, or the whatever it is. So I'll be voting against it.
This is for motion for. Because as Karen said, Councillor Pennsylvania. Sorry. So Councillor Pennsylvania said, and it is very good to understanding deeply. So it is, I think, understand this is kind of workshop in the other way to benefit for the councillors.
Point of order.
He did move the motion. Talk again. No, he didn't.
No, I think you speak. I think let the deputy to speak for that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think this one new things we allow more speakers.
I would like to speak against the motion. It's really time consuming, talking the same stuff. Let's trial it without this committee, and if we can't cope, that's when we'll look into it. Let's not start something which is, we might not even use it, and later it will become a burden on us. So I won't be supporting the motion.
I think we should have enough speak. Can I put this one for the vote? Yeah. All right.
You said only 3 times, You just give it 5%.
Did you second the motion or not?
I didn't, but I'm still eligible to speak again.
Sorry, I'll put this one, this motion for the vote. I put this for all those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Pennsylvania, Councillor Northworthy, Councillor Kim. I will support for this motion. Okay. So, and against? Councillor Bremo, Councillor Brady, and Councillor Sandy. I declare ready. Yeah, Sandy ready. Okay, I declare the motion carried. Why you speak for the motion, but you voted against it?
I speak against it.
I speak against it. I speak against it.
Oh, okay.
You're not listening to me, Mr. Mayor.
No. Okay, now we go into PE1. Can I have a seconder for this motion? Councillor Pennsylvania? Okay. Councillors, does anyone would like to speak for the motion?
I just want to very quickly say that I think the outcome of a lot of discussion and work with the staff, with the councillors, has led to a great outcome, and I think we've been able to do what we need to meet the state's requests of the council and organisation. It's a shame that, you know, in my view, the state's being much more radical than I'd like them to have been, and I think that will damage, to a degree, the character of our community. Nonetheless, I think the staff have found a wonderful compromise that, you know, I think will at least preserve parts of Strathfield the way it is, and hopefully not lead to the tearing up of all of our local character. But unfortunately, that's still possible under what is being, what we are being pushed to accept. So anyway, thank you to the staff for that, and I'm in favour of this. Thank you.
Can I have any councillor who speak for the motion? Councillor Northworthy?
It's more some questions. Unfortunately, I was ill last week and missed the workshop relevant to this. I would like to thank the Director for some fast responses this afternoon to some of my questions, but just kind of some follow-up questions. There's a couple of specific provisions. One that I asked was about the size of balconies for certain bedroom sizes, and your question through the Mayor to the Director. You mentioned this, it's a statewide provision. Is that true of the other size provisions, living rooms and living spaces? Are they all mandated by state regulation, or is that a choice that we get to make in the DCP?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. No, that's a choice that we've made. The minimum areas for the room sizes are not mandated.
Separate question, another question, sorry. Is that okay?
So
there's provisions in there for access to, or infrastructure to make electric cars available, and some rules about visibility of solar panels. So my next question through the Chair to the Director or to the member of staff, is there any scope for provision of battery storage systems that could be put in there that maybe we could amend in future?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I think there would be scope for that, but we think that the control for the EV covers that sort of retrofitting.
Thank you.
Chair.
Just a quick question, just about the exhibition period. So this gateway determination came to council, or was adopted, endorsed, whatever you call it, back in September. So I think we're pretty late coming to the party getting this to council, in my opinion. Is there anything, just my question is there anything, I think it should be, this is something that should be exhibited for, I think they said minimum 28 days, should probably be exhibited for a longer period. Is there anything prohibiting council putting the proposal on exhibition now for a longer period of time, like rather than for a longer period of time, for example, now until the middle of February or something along those lines? Just a question through.
Through Mr. Mayor to Councillor Blackmore, yes, we absolutely can do that. There is no requirement for us to only do 28 days or maximum of this. We absolutely can put it out there.
Okay, so I'll probably make an amendment, point 5.
Which page?
Sorry, or if you add to point 4, that or just put a point 5 actually. Point 5, that the comprehensive DCP review 2025, general residential, be put on public exhibition for 60 days, commencing, how many days do you need, through the Chair, how many days do you need, Paul?
Do you really need 60 days?
It's practical.
As soon as possible. Before the end of December. Before the Christmas period?
Make up your mind.
Can I just chat into Joe, councillors, through you, Mr. Chair. to Councillor Blackmore, can I suggest, there's a bit of tidy work we've got to do with the DCP before, and we would like to exhibit them both at the same time. I agree, let's go for the longer period, but if we could start in February, that would be helpful. So it just gives a bit of time to tidy some stuff up before, over the Christmas break, and then let's put both on together from early Feb.
What's January?
We can still do 60 days, it doesn't change.
December is soon.
We're not on a time limit.
People busy.
Is there any time limit for next year?
I'd like to put them both out together through you, Chair.
Next year. Because Christmas time too busy, people don't come.
We've got 60
Yeah,
days.
that's where we're putting
That's
it.
what I'm saying, 60 days. So it goes up
It
now.
starts in
And
February.
then it's up more information next year.
It misses Christmas.
That's the point of the longer period.
Yeah.
Through you, Chair, too, there's also an exclusion over the Christmas period, too. So I'd like to do it post the Christmas period, if I could. And that's not our exclusion, that's a state government exclusion.
Thank you.
Um,
Any other
I
debate for
think,
this one?
well, I haven't, I'm just looking at that, yeah, sorry. It kind of defeats the purpose of having that extra, like, time frame. My issue is that it's come back to, like, we've had a gateway since September. So my issue is that, you know, I know I think there's a deadline on there of August that it's got to come back.
Yeah.
So there's not really, my issue is that there's not a lot of time for it to actually go out to the community, come back to us, and then like have a bit of to and fro, because I'm sure there will be some residents unhappy with these changes. So I just think it's just, we're leaving it like, it's happened previously in this council, previous terms, most of the staff weren't here, where it's been left till the last minute and then there's been something rushed through. So I'll probably leave it as is, but I'll delete 0.5 and take Paul's advice to, yeah.
So no amendment.
28 days.
Just make it 60 days.
Well, that's the point. If you're starting it in February, it's going to push it through, like it's not going to come back to council until probably end of April or...
May, June, July, August.
Maybe it's changed, we'll go back again. Just leave it as it is. Sorry, no.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we could bring it back into the middle of January. The exclusion period is literally just Christmas and New Year, so we could bring it down to the middle of January and still do 60 days.
Okay.
Okay, do that.
Yeah, well, I'll trust you to do that, Paul.
Okay.
Councillor? Thank you, councillors. All good? So I'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Now we go into the most
Year one.
you won. You are going to move it? Can I have a seconder? Okay, Councillor Pensavini, thank you. Are you going to speak for the motion?
Yeah. I'm only going to speak for the motion, not in favor, not in contradicted. I've got some information from the council when the motion came up, and then started doing a little bit of my research. In this process, I tend to visit the childcare center, and I had few facts which really made me think. They had 2 weeks to come in and occupy, and once they came in, COVID hit them. They still got up, they kept the childcare running, and we gave them a non-compliant fence. That's what my understanding is. The fence was never compliant, it was non-compliant. And being in good faith, they are the long-term tenants and they pay a commercial rent to us. And they have 17 neighbors to deal with, to do anything at all, whereas council have the authority to deal with the neighbors and everything. And in making my decision, I'll be putting kids and kids' safety first, and I'll be making my decision.
Thank you, Councillor. Anyone want to speak for the motion?
Okay, I'll move a amended motion. Apologies, I haven't provided it to the minute taker. So, an amended, there'll be a point 1. That council fund the replacement of fencing as outlined in the report. Point 2, that Lighthouse, what are we? Early learning.
Childhood Centre.
Lighthouse Childcare, provide council with 3 quotes for a compliant fence. And associated removal and installation costs. Point 3, that council right to all neighbours whose fence is impacted, informing them that council intends to replace the fence, and giving an option that if they want a particular type of fence, that they will have to contribute 50% of the cost to council. Does that cover?
Yes. You finished?
Look, I'll speak just quickly against the amendment just because of a wording issue, I think, in the first point. The council fund the replacement of fencing as outlined in the report. The report doesn't necessarily outline funding for the replacement, so I think wording it maybe a little bit better would be appropriate, just so it's clear.
Outline of fencing to the boundary of Lighthouse.
Yeah, so something along those lines. But I'll also use this opportunity just to speak, generally speaking, in favour with Councillor Blackmore. I think it's a complicated issue, of course. It's something that a lot of us have done a deep dive into understanding the history, the legality, the circumstances, the quality, etc. of the fence and the sort of circumstantial surroundings of the issue. And without sort of engaging in all the sort of persnickety that I have, I've got sort of pages and pages of notes of thoughts that have come to mind, but I will, nonetheless, actually, maybe will mention something. I just want to maybe write some of my concluding points, speak to some of the written concluding points that I've written. Look, council leased out a non-compliant facility, as Councillor Reddy mentioned, to a provider, and they're seeking for us to make it compliant. This should have been done at the time of the initial lease negotiation, but sort of here we are, well past that point, of course. The tenant invested $1 million into our facility and continue to pay a substantial commercial rate per annum to us. So, whilst the definition of maintain is something that's been used by staff to sort of say, well, you know, in this context, it means that it's the responsibility of the tenant. I actually think, because of legal precedent in certain cases, it does mean that the tenant is responsible for the total replacement of the fence. However, that would be if the fence that was given to them was compliant, is my take on the circumstances, which it wasn't. So if council wanted to act in a reasonable way, I think we should fund the, as Councillor Blackmore suggested, the new fence, which is compliant, but after that point, the broad definition of maintain that I've quoted there, would, I think, include their responsibility of maintaining and potentially replacing the new fence if there was damage or anything that was substantial that needed replacement. So I think once we bring the fence itself to being compliant, then it's in the hands of the tenant as per the staff's recommendation in the report. But up until that point, I think it's very unreasonable and would be council not acting in good faith if we were to require them to do so as is asked for in the report. Anyway, I'm supporting the amendment, except for hopefully just the definitional change.
Yeah.
But
What's the change one? Council fund the,
I'm also happy to second the amendment. Thank you.
council fund the replacement of the boundary fence.
Can I ask?
Can I just, sorry.
Can I have the seconder first?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Gives me
I'm just tidying this up.
No, let me find out the seconder first before you speak.
I've already said that I second.
Already seconded it.
Okay,
Well, already seconded it.
okay, thank you.
Is that what we're saying, as outlined in the report, or just
No, sorry.
take out the, delete that?
Council fund the replacement of the boundary fence at the property outlined in the report,
Yeah, okay.
or something along
And,
those lines.
can I just add?
Clarify for me. I think councillors, you might want to be a little bit more specific because the childcare talks to a quote based on a Colorbond fence, which is 1.8 metres high. Your reference as the landlord should be on what is the minimum requirement for a boundary fence, which is a timber fence at 1.6 metres high. So I think you want to be clear as to what that definition is.
Okay, yeah.
So I think if we put the council fund the replacement of the boundary of the property under the report with a, well, no, that's not the correct wording, outlined in the report, the fence to be funded would be a 1.8 metre Colorbond fence with a sleeper on the bottom. A sleeper. With a sleeper on the bottom. Or with sleepers. Yeah, sleepers. Did you do it earlier? I'll probably sorry, I'll just tidy up one more thing if you let me, please. I think on point 2, we should probably put there that or do we need to put there that you're delegated, the GM's delegated to approve the third quote?
I think just I think based on the type of fence, we will review the 3 quotes and probably source our own quotes, and then we would go with the one that provides best value.
Do you want to put that in there? Yes. I think it should be in.
I think you could add to the end of that, and the GM under delegation makes the final decision on the cost of works to proceed.
Finalization.
Can I let the Councillor King to speak first?
Let's get this sorted.
Yeah, that time.
Mayor, I have a question. When we have, the Deputy Mayor and JP, or Councillor Valerie said you have provided non-compliant fence to the tenant. Is that so?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so what I would actually point the councillors to is there's a section in the lease that actually talks to the licensee, being the tenant. At that time, the tenant acknowledged and declared that there was no promises or warranty. So all representation undertaken being given by the licensor in respect to the suitability of the premise. for the purpose to be carried on therein, or to the fittings, facilities, furnishings and amenities of the premises or otherwise then contained in this licence. So in signing and executing that licence, the tenant has accepted the condition of the site to be compliant for the purpose of what they were trying to deliver, and there was a schedule of works attached which totalled the $950,000, which the tenant was required to bring the facility up to standard, and that was part of the condition of the lease.
Okay.
When we rent or become a tenant, we inspect all the property and point out which is not complied or is not satisfied. They point out, they ask landlord to correct and repair it. But this tenant does accept it. And it's also, I think, some of their responsibility. Our council did not comply, but you have already declared that it's not complied, and they have accepted. As a president of a council, Korean society, we have a long-term lease, 20 years lease in our hall. And we have to pay all the maintenance fee for the hall. And we are not for-profit organization. Still, the council requests us to pay all the maintenance. And we have prepared. When we when we borrow, when we have lease contract 20 years ago, this was very old bowling club. And we have to repair everything. We have to spend more than $1 million to repair at this condition, present building. And still we have to pay all the maintenance fees as a tenant. Because it's owned, even if it is owned by council, I have very much against to the tenant, how can we pay a maintenance? But this is a contract.
Just a point.
Just a moment.
Point of order, I'm saying.
Point of view.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Point of order. Look, what Councillor Kim is talking about is a completely different situation. She's talking about a community rent where the Korean society pays peanuts rent for what they're renting. They're not paying a commercial rate, and that's why the burden of all the maintenance of that building's on them. And there's been issues with that. Canterbury Council been trying to...
Point of order, Mr Mayor. That is not a point of order. It's a point of debate, which is not a valid point of order. I think the councillor deserves a warning.
I'll withdraw that. Mr Mayor, I'll withdraw it.
I think, you stand up without my permission. I think he's
I didn't finish my statement. He just make a point of order.
Okay.
So this is maybe Councillor Blackmore thinks this is a different case. But it is not a different case, I think. As our common sense, when we accept any commercial rate or anything, become a tenant for long-term tenant, they have responsibility. So it is not, it is our fault and their fault, both party faults. And why do we have to accept their request color bond? If it is non-compliant, we can have a timber fence. It is our capital work. Do you have through the mayor, general manager, do you have enough budget for this, for color bond?
Through you, Mr Mayor, we don't have funding in the budget to cover the cost. I'll have to ask the director to review the current capital works program and take something out to cover this cost.
Councillor Barney, are you going to speak something?
Yes, I would just like to refer everyone back to the amendment for a moment. I do take some concern with colour bond being prescribed. I don't, not to say that I want to prescribe a timber fence, but rather, and this is a question through you, Mr Chair, Mr Mayor, the Chair, to the relevant director, about, because Colorbond is actually a brand of Australian steel that is sold by a particular vendor. So is there issue with picking a brand, and rather should the quotes rather reflect steel? Just to be very specific, I do think there might be an issue with that. And if there is, please, if I can ask through the through the mayor to the director.
Like glad rope, yeah.
Metal fence. Metal fence?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I think you could restate it to be an aluminium or equivalent type thing.
Mr. Mayor, I believe Colorbond is Australian steel, not aluminium, but made by BlueScope specifically. So we're picking a company here. If the mover of the amendment is happy with renaming it steel, I'm happy for that word to be changed as well. If that provides the
No, Colorbond or equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's become a style.
Glad wrap, councillor.
That is true, councillors, but I think it's just important to be careful with when we're dealing with businesses. So just steel fence, I think, is appropriate if the mover's happy with it.
Who's the mover?
Councillor Blackwell.
Handle Colorbond / steel.
Colorbond style?
Can I maybe offer you another suggestion? You could maybe say Colorbond like.
Colorbond like.
I'll accept that, yes.
No, it's enough already.
Please.
Move the motion.
No, you just always come.
Oh,
Move the motion.
To decide.
Mayor, the fences are divided, the two owners, like house owners and council owned the fence. We are sharing the fence. That's why Council Blackmore asked, we have the right in our neighbors to pay for 50% of Colorbond. Have you ever, if the owners of the house, if they say no, what can we do?
No. I think you should read the amendment, Councillor Kim. Have a quick read of it.
No, if they, you have to, can we instruct them?
There is a Fence Act, you have to read it.
Just
If
to
they want
quickly,
a different fence, they have to pay for it.
I'll answer through the chair. Basically say if they don't want the Colorbond fence, if they wanted a timber fence or they wanted something, whatever, that they have to then contribute to the fence. So we're paying for the fence. If they want something different, they have to contribute as the normal rules. So at the moment we're paying. Unless they want a different one.
Okay. No more debating for this one. I will put the amendment for the vote. All those,
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor, the amendment doesn't need to go to a vote. The amendment's been accepted by the mover and seconder. It's become the motion.
Yeah, the motion.
it's okay, right? Yeah.
You never think about council, always favor of the, oh my God, you can't do this.
All right, now I put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, Councillor Pensapeni, Councillor Northwood, Councillor Bremo, Councillor Brady, and Councillor Sandy. Ready? Okay. Against? Councillor Kim. Declare the motion carried.
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor, and it's retrospective, of course, but I don't think you named how you were voting on that motion. I could be wrong, but I don't know if you
I think it was recorded in the
declared. It may be recorded, but I just wanted to clarify that that was recorded accurately.
Which one?
I don't think it was. Oh, it was, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we go to EO3. This one.
Thank you.
You shouldn't do that.
With the owners.
In favor of the people.
June.
Everybody knows them, they have already secretly contracted.
Your fees, confidential.
Next report.
Yes, so there's no commercial rent, yeah?
You too, we don't have.
Esther, it's
That is
not
paid.
maintenance, it's structural.
No,
And structural.
I have this already also studied.
Yeah.
But they have declared already structural fences already in the contract.
Councillors?
Okay.
Councillor?
They have to borrow.
Only up for a freebie.
Thank you.
We did the same.
Only up for a freebie.
Councillor, welcome back. Now I'm going to move that the standing orders be suspended so that the following items can be brought forward. The item will be E03, and after that, we will resume the order, and you'll come back to the confidential part, okay? Can I have a seconder for the motion? Seconder, Councillor Reddy? Okay,
Prepare the standing orders.
All in favour?
So we're going to do EO3 first.
okay,
Oh, you stay here.
See what happens.
I need one. Okay, I will now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Okay, now we go to E03. Number one. Thank you, Councillor.
Sorry, but we did that.
Any councillor want to speak for the motion? No? Any councillor want to speak against the motion? No? Okay, I bring the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously, and we have Councillor Baladi to be back. Now,
We didn't have a mover and a seconder.
That's right.
We didn't have a mover and a seconder for that.
Maybe exit stage, right?
I move.
okay, seconded by Councillor Reddy.
Who's moving it? Kyle.
Councillor Kim.
Councillor Kim, second Councillor Reddy. All in favour?
All in favor? Yeah.
Unanimous.
Okay, the motion.
Okay.
Another bad day.
Let's go, Mr. Bellardi.
Ken, you're running the show.
Okay, now I'm going to resume the meeting and I welcome Councillor Brady back. Move the motion.
To resume standing
Okay, I move the motion to resume the standing orders. Yep. Can I have a seconder for Councillor Brady? Yeah. I'll put this motion for the vote. All those in favor, please put your hand up. Okay, thank you. The declared motion carried unanimously.
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor. I don't think Councillor Kim voted in that. Just wanted to clarify.
Did I saw a hand?
Just wanted to clarify. Just asking.
Watch me.
When I looked over, your hand was down, so
Now I'm going to close the section, going to the confidential section. Do we have to move that? Oh, I'll move the motion. Can I have seconder for this one? Seconder, Councillor Barrymore. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please put your hand.
To go into closed session.
Closed section, yes. Okay, Councillor. Thank you, Councillor. I declare the motion carried unanimously.
So now you.
We'll follow the rules.
Welcome back, councillors. In the closed section, we are. Oh, okay. Yeah. Can I ask General Manager to read out the result?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So in closed session, Council dealt with item EO2, which was the land and property strategy for December 2025 update. It was moved by Councillor Kai and seconded by Councillor Reddy, and Council resolved that Council endorsed the recommended overarching strategies and the next steps for the 11 priority sites within the attached confidential report. The voting on this item was unanimous, being Councillors Blackmore, Pennsylvania, Kai, Reddy and Kim, as Councillor Nosworthy and Councillor Bellardi were not present for the voting due to a conflict of interest. The next item dealt with in the confidential session was item EO4, which is the property strategy for Redmire Road, Strathfield. It was moved by Councillor Kai and Councillor Bellardi. The voting on this matter was, it was endorsed that council officers meet with the Strathfield Croquet Club to inform council's intent to open expressions of interest for the granting of a licence over the current Croquet Club site and the medical centre at 50 to 52 Redmire Road, Strathfield. 2, gives public notice in accordance with section 47 of the Local Government Act that it proposes to grant a lease for 50 to 52 Redmire Road, Strathfield. 3, advertises a tender in accordance with section 46A and division 1 of part 3 of the Local Government Act, calling for expressions of interest for a lease for 50 to 52 Redmire Road, Strathfield. Those who voted for the motion were Councillors Blackmore, Kai, Reddy, Bellardi and Kim. Those who voted against the motion was Councillors Pensabeni and Nosworthy. The last item dealt by in closed session was item EO6, which was the land reclassification of key council sites. It was moved by Councillor Kai and Blackmore and resolved as follows: that council gives public notice in accordance with section 34 of the Local Government Act of its intention to reclassify the following sites, reclassify these sites from community land to operational land. A, Lot 2, DP 1041251, located at 78 Park Road, Homebush. B, which is Lot 82, DP 14865, Lot 7, DP 243041, and Lot A of DP 407917, and Lot A of DP 402961, and Lot 102 of DP 746356, located at 40 Augusta Street, Strathfield. C, that Lot F of DP 376063, located at 50 to 52 Redmire Road, Strathfield. And D, being Lot 101 of DP 866163, located at 12 to 18 Albert Avenue, Strathfield. E, being Lot 2 of DP 208220, located at 21 Henley Road, Homebush. And F, being Lot 5 of DP 627720, located adjacent to 65 Pemberton Street, Strathfield. This was voted by the councillors in the room, being Councillors Blackmore, Pensabeni, Kai, Reddy, Nosworthy and Kim for the motion. Councillor Bellardi was not present for the vote due to a conflict of interest and did not attend.
Thank you, Chair.
That's relevant.
I think that's all for tonight. Yeah?
Yeah, can I just wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. To our council officers, thank you so much for everything that you do for us. And I know in the background you don't realise how much you do, and we do really appreciate everything. To our General Manager, who has the patience of Jove, to thank you so much for all your work and participation in our meetings as well. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Sandy Reddy. Thank you, Councillor Kim. Thank you, Councillor Nosworthy and Councillor Blackmore. You've all been a great way to work with. Thank you so much.
Good to see you back.
Christmas.
Our last meeting.
Good to see you back.
Merry Christmas.
Next month, Christmas Day.
All right, let me close the meeting before you talk. Excuse me, let me close the meeting before you
Keep just checking it's the last meeting.
There's been no further business of the meeting closed at 6:21.